the way.
We're wanted men.
I have spoken.
Welcome to episode 114 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast, or at least for 200 and some odd of you that show up in our report that we get every few days. But anyway, Jason, I'm Glenn, and with me as always is Jason.
Hi.
Jason, hi, Jason.
How's it going?
It's good. How's it going for you?
Good.
Any fun stuff happen this week?
Got a car.
You got a car?
Yeah, Ford Edge.
Nice.
Yeah. Excited about that.
Did you trade in a car?
No, my daughter got into an accident and we decided that the best thing to do might be to get me a car and hand one down to her instead of her getting something. So
Nice. Congratulations.
yeah. Thanks. I'm
Is it-
excited.
What year is it?
It's a 2015. It's like a pearly white. Has a sunroof, but something weird's happening with the weatherproofing on the sunroof. So I have to take a look at that. But it runs well. It's going to get me from point A to point B, and I'm happy. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Congratulations.
let's go.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about your daughter, but I know you were dealing with some stuff and you couldn't really talk a whole lot about it. But
Yeah, she's doing all right. She's doing all right.
cool.
Senior year. It's going to be weird next year when she's not around.
Yeah.
She goes off to college.
Yeah, I could tell my stepdaughter's back in normal high school because I keep getting pamphlets from people from colleges and stuff. And it's really weird because she got like a really big packet from University of Alabama that seems to be like it'd be more. I couldn't see them sending this to everybody because it's a quarter of an inch thick.
Yeah.
But you know, it normally they're sending like flyers, flyer like a 1-page thing, hard cardboard, but this is like in a really nice padded envelope, and I'm like, what are you doing with University of Alabama? But I guess we'll see. But then she'll take it and throw it all away. She goes, you know how many of these I get? Yeah, but it's still cool because I didn't get them.
Yeah, she was saving all her pamphlets, and they were stacking up on the table, and I just, in a fit of rage, just threw them all out. I'm like, that's it. They're going in the garbage.
You Hulkman, Hulk Dad.
Hulk Dad. Foot coming down, if you've seen Inside Out. He's pushing the button. The foot is coming down.
It's been a minute, dude.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Did you
I've
get
been
anything fun other than the car?
busy with getting things and then making things. It's been a crazy time. Super secret Georgia Alliance project is nearing completion. I'll be excited to get that off my plate. I'm sorry I can't talk about that yet, but you'll hear about it soon.
Yeah.
Dear listener, and making like a thing that people can sign at the winter socials. So I'm making that. I'm making I'm finishing the cantina finally. The 3D printer is finally tuned to a point where I can just crank things out, and so I'm nearing completion of that. But then you asked about what I acquired, and Barry from Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, went to Kane County, and he saw the Salacious Crumb. Was it a brooch or like a necklace thing? They made jewelry during Return of the Jedi.
Gotcha.
So this is like a gold Salacious Crumb, and he talked the guy down $10, and I bought it from him, and yeah, so now I have a brooch of Salacious Crumb in gold.
Dude, that's awesome. At least you have something that's sort of oddball that not a lot of people collect, and so when you find it, you get it. Oh, Did the battery die already?
No. You hear him?
I didn't. I barely heard him.
You're
I'm not.
not hearing that?
No, hearing that. That's weird.
I don't know. I'll have to edit that out. I did
Or
get
just put
Greedo.
it back in.
What?
Put it in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe I'll edit it. Sure. I did get a Black Series Greedo for the Cantina, so now I actually have an official Greedo-looking Greedo, not the Kenner one, in the Cantina, facing off with Han Solo, so that's cool. I also got that Celebration exclusive, that Jon Favreau Black Series figure.
Oh, nice.
That arrived, and then I had a bunch of vintage collection figures arrive. We had talked about that last week, so I have to send that 332nd Clone Trooper to Sam. I'll get that out eventually this week when I find time between breaths. And then so there's a bunch of vintage collection figures that I got. I'm not going to go through them all. And then the other thing I got was the Micro Galaxy Squadron, the LAAT, the I don't even remember what its abbreviation is anymore.
The
But it's
Moff
that,
Gideon.
no, not that one. Oh, I did get that one too. Yeah.
Oh, really? Which?
You know, in Attack of the Clones, the vehicle that they're flying in, and then they jump off, and then they go fight.
Yeah, the jump ship or whatever.
Yeah, I got that.
Nice.
That arrived from Target, but then I was also at Walmart. I think I was at a different Walmart than you, and I found two of the chases. I found two of the Moff Gideon ships, and I bought one to open, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool. I actually picked one up too.
Did you
at a different Walmart?
Yeah.
Huh?
Did you open it?
Yes, I did open it. It's upstairs. I've got, like I said, I've got so much crap going on in life right now that I open stuff and either you don't open it and set it to the side and forget about it. Because I'm packing up and it is not fun. It's sad when you look at your case and it's empty.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Boom, boom, boom. It seems like it's like not filled with life all of a sudden.
It does. I'm hoping I'm gonna pick up some, because I had some gray figure stands that I got years ago, and I'm gonna upgrade them to the clear ones from Ian. So that should definitely bring my thing up a couple of notches. I'm hoping. I just need to contact them and see how much it's gonna hurt. So, yeah.
Cool.
I finally heard from AFA though.
Yeah.
About my Boba Fett.
How's that going?
It's going good. I should have it this weekend. Graded in 85.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's Taiwan, whatever I think it's a black belt, but it may be the brown belt. Whichever one's the variant, and with the correct blaster and everything. So graded in 85. So
you could message Glenn on Facebook and tell him all about what he got, or you can message us at smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Flood his inbox and let him know what he got. You can add him.
Yeah, I'll know what I have when I see it, but it's been sitting there 6 months, so it's I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I bought it because it was awesome, and then you see it because I saw it at Second Chance, like I don't remember 6 months ago. And
this
I
is
was like,
spring.
This fet's sweet.
Yeah,
it was springtime, and I was like, wow, this fet's sweet. And so we made it. We started making deals on it, started talking numbers, and then you find out, well, it's a Taiwan Fett. And you're like, crap. Oh, it's whatever the variant is. It's a brown belt, black belt, whichever. And then they're like, oh, and we have the blaster. So I just went ching, 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 ching. And I was like, I got to quit going in your back room because I always spend money when I go back there.
Yeah. It's cool going to the back room, even though like you go in the back room and it's like, this is just the stuff that hasn't been processed yet. It's not like they hold the best stuff out there because the best stuff's out on the floor because they want to sell it.
Right. It is. It's stuff that hasn't been processed, but they know what's back there, and they're all looking at me going, as soon as I brought it up to Chance, he's like, I knew you were going to find this. It's like, thanks.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So I'll get it special delivery this weekend sometime, I'm hoping.
Let's hope.
Yeah. But yeah, the Moth Gideon ship, and that was it. That's all I got. I'm still waiting to hear back from CAS about my submission for at Cincinnati, but I don't know how long it takes for them to even process that stuff before the, normally you would at least get a, hey, we have your stuff
Yeah.
email, and I haven't gotten that yet, but we'll see.
What are you getting graded again?
Sealed Wampa.
Oh, that's right. Yes, thank you. Yes.
That it's probably only going to grade like a 70 or 75. It's not, I don't expect it to grade high because it's not in the best condition, but it's sealed. So I definitely, that's the whole reason why I graded it, because it's going to cost me probably 40, 50 bucks for a case, and I can get it graded for 80. So double my money, and I can get it graded and it stays sealed and looking good. So that's why I did it. Plus, it's hard. It's like when I had my dumpster, it's hard when you're like, should I get it graded or not? And CAS is sitting right there. So it's like, it's easy to just say, grade this, because you have that moment.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to put CAS in a dumpster, but you're cleaning out your garage and you have this big dumpster sitting in your driveway, and it's throw it away. I got a dumpster sitting out there on.
You kind of broke up there. You have a dumpster sitting out there?
So I have a dumpster sitting out there, so it's gone.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it kind of forces your hand a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah. So this is going to be kind of, we got a special guest coming up here in a minute, but so it's kind of a weird compressed episode. But what'd you think of Andor? Did you want to talk Andor, or do you want to talk well, actually, before we get into Andor, did you see that freaking lot that some dude found in warehouse?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. That's the dream, is that you can go into like some old Kmart and they just find a box and they just throw it on the shelf, and yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, Max is coming in. Look at that.
Oh, he's here early.
He's here early, so let me admit him.
But yeah, that's a pretty cool lot. That was incredible.
And I was showing it to some of them. Basically, it was what, 200 or 300 sealed figures still in a box. Oh, he disappeared. I don't know what happened. But anyway, it was about 200 to 300, either 200 or 300 men on cards, unpunched, that somebody had a couple of cases sitting somewhere. And it just, I mean, he has 8 21 back Boba Fett's. So you're figuring those are worth somewhere 8 to 10K a piece.
Yeah.
So he's got $80,000 in 8 Boba Fett sitting right there.
And they look pretty,
on a conservative side.
Yeah, and they looked pretty good. I mean, you can't really tell from the photos, but they look like flat cards. Max said he'll be on in just a minute.
Okay, cool.
But he had a meeting from 7 to 8.
Okay, gotcha. So anyway, yeah, they all looked good, and I didn't know if they were 12, if the original figures were 12 back or 21 back, but still, even at that, okay, so you're at, for a 21 back, you're what, $1,000 maybe?
Yeah, it's still pretty special, no matter which way you slice it, to get all those figures to just kind of just appear, and they look minty, case fresh. It's
I told my wife, I'm like, that's a second mortgage. She's like, why? I said, because I don't know what they paid for it, but it's probably, they're gonna make money, I'm sure that, but yeah. And I was showing guys I work with this lot, you're just like, holy crap, look at this.
Yeah.
And they're like, you'd love to find that. I'm like, I can't afford that. I couldn't afford to do that, to buy that lot.
Yeah. Well, they're auctioning them off, and there's, talk like that's not the best thing to do, is to flood the market with all these things all at once. But I also thought that they're selling the figures as lots, so you get the Boba Fett lot and the Jawa lot, if I understood that correctly.
Oh my God.
I could have misinterpreted that.
Okay. It looks like because my wife looked at it real quick, and she thinks that it looks like there's 8 of each figure. Like, oh, the most number they have is 8. So like, it seems to be like the number 8 is really big with those guys. So maybe they were buying lots of 8 or something.
Maybe.
But geez,
it's still pretty fantastic.
There's stuff still out there. You just got to get lucky. So that was wow. Just to see, even just to see pictures of that much stuff is found in a barn somewhere was pretty damn incredible.
Yeah, I hope they were wearing their brown pants when they found that one.
I hope so too. And you kind of wonder, did they say, hey, we got some Star Wars stuff in the back, or did they just kind of move something and went, oh crap?
Yeah, I would love to know the story behind that thing. That's pretty awesome.
Because yeah, we had a family come trick or treat, and they heard our dogs' names, and they're like, oh, is that Star Wars? Is that from Star Wars? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, oh wow. So we had a talk, and they're like, oh yeah, we got some stuff that we may want to sell. And I'm like, sweet, what is it? And they're like, they're from Burger King. And I'm like, mother, thanks. Yeah, I'd love to look at them.
That's your stuff. Or are they the toys from 2005?
The toys from the 90s,
Yeah.
from like Power of the Force 2.
Yeah.
They're still sealed. I'm like, thanks. Awesome.
Dang. Well, at least they're thinking about you, and
Yeah. But anywho,
they're making the attempt to relate.
yes, they are, and they were cool. They lived right down the street. Apparently, they've got some stuff, so we'll see. See if anything ever comes from it, but I doubt it. So, what you thinking? Is there anything else?
Yeah, you
Or
want
not?
to talk about Andor real quick?
Just dude, it's getting better and better. It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a slow burn. It's getting really better. I like the relationship between Mon Mothra, and Val. That was a nice twist.
Yeah, that and the cinematography is getting really good on that stuff. And there was that big twist at the end where you figure out the Empire don't give a crap and they're not going to live up to their word.
Yeah, so I had some issues with that because what was the Empire thinking? That this guy would just go from 6 to 2 and just go to work?
I don't know.
So-
Do you think?
So real quick spoilers, you might want to skip ahead 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, but a prisoner served their time on level 6, and instead of releasing them into the universe, they just dropped them on level 2 of the prison. And then there was some sort of riot or an attempted escape on level 2, and everyone got killed on level 2 as a result of it. But my question is, what was the Empire thinking would happen?
Yeah, like that dude wouldn't talk.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm just gonna go back to work. This is my
Right.
life now. No, it's gonna be rioting.
Yeah, and it was interesting the whole signing thing. How whatever Andy Serkis's character was like, it takes a week for stuff to get it back to us. How do you think we there's no way we hear about it in a day.
Yeah.
So and it's funny how Andy Serkis, his character, like turned like that. All of a sudden he's like, no, dude, I want to keep my head down. Just shut up. Let's keep nose to the grindstone. And then all of a sudden, when they figured it all out, he's like, yeah, there's 12 guards on each shift.
Yeah, you kind of had trust in the Empire that they were going to do the right thing when his time was up, because I think they've done that before. It's just they suddenly changed and his trust is dropped. I also thought maybe the Empire came down with this edict that no prisoners are going to get out, and no prisoners are going to be released anymore, and it was up to that jail to figure things out. And they're like, well, I don't know what to do. Just throw them on 2 for now. We'll figure it out later. Like that was
Right.
that's the only thing I could think of. But it would have been nice if they explained it, I guess.
Yeah, but I think you're also kind of hearing from Andor's, from their perspective, to where they don't even know what's going on. And so you just got to kind of go for it, yeah, take the, go with what's known. What else? I mean, they had the Mon, because I kept calling her Mon, and I keep want to call her Mothra, and it's not right, I know. But yeah, it was fun seeing her. Oh, your cousin's here, and then it's the girl from the rebellion, and then they find out that, oh yeah, what the hell are you doing? You should be a spoiled rich girl. and they don't like, didn't like the fact that Lutherans got them both working it, and one of them's working the background, and one of them's in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. But I gotta say one thing. The one thing that bugs me the whole thing, the most of everything, it's working with hard hand tools barefoot, heavy tools and stuff barefoot. It's like, how come nobody breaks a toe? Or
Well, yeah, I don't think OSHA of the Star Wars Galactic universe really cares what's going on in that prison.
no, the Empire's like, F you.
Yeah, and I don't think the Empire would care if a giant piece of metal suddenly broke the toes of some prisoner. They're like, whatever, kill him, move on.
Yeah, move along.
They're not.
But yeah,
it's like if OSHA shows up and you gets cited for 3 violations, the Empire's just going to kill OSHA.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I guess you're taking his place, Mr. OSHA man or Mrs. OSHA woman.
Hey there, Mr. Ocean Man. What you doing?
Excuse me, you don't have the rules posted where employees can see it in this prison? Throw them overboard.
I'm curious. Something's going, because you could tell, like, Andor's talking to that one prisoner, and they're starting to figure things out. And then what is he cutting into? Is that his cell that he's cutting that hole in, or is it like the public bathroom that he's cutting that wire or whatever?
Well, his plan changed. That was initially his plan, but now he's got some other plan that he developed, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah. Well, you see that he's working on a plan to get out of there.
Maybe to cut power.
Yeah, and you're discovering, oh yeah, that's right, because they did cut power for a minute, so maybe he's working with something with that. But you're also, the net, you can feel the net closing, because they've got pictures of him and they're starting to figure out, well, he was clean shaven, and all the guys that did this raid were clean shaven. So maybe they're, get that whole net thing's coming and, closing in on him, especially when she was using the fish analogy.
Yeah.
But they're also, what else was I? I think the cinematography on this is pretty incredible, man. I mean, and the story, just the whole, it's a nice slow burn, man.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get the payoff.
It's getting better.
Yeah. So what do we got? 3 or 4 episodes left?
Was that 9? So 3 episodes left, of this season.
Wow. So hopefully the next 3 will kind of fly, and we'll figure out what happens, or at least what the plan is.
I don't want a cliffhanger. I want it to kind of have some resolution to kind of start the next phase. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think they're going to leave it that way. Or if it's going to be a cliffhanger, it'll be a very small one. Like K2SO shows up or something.
Do you think his sister's dead?
I thought it might have been an interesting twist if his sister turns out to be that ISB agent, but I don't think that'll happen.
Oh. Yeah. That'd be interesting. Like, she's working that side to protect him and find him.
No, not that she doesn't realize that that's him.
But didn't she have dark hair? This woman is blonde.
Yeah, Max is. I'm gonna admit him. Yeah.
Excited. Drums. Oh, dog's yelling.
So she could have colored her hair. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Tried to disguise herself.
Yeah. Hi, Max.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
How you doing?
It's going good. It's going good.
So just to let you know, we are recording right now.
Wow. I'm very glad I shut my camera off when I accidentally logged on the first time.
Oh. We can always edit. This is a podcast, not a visual thing.
Oh my God, podcast. I love it. Oh my God, Glenn, I love your freaking room. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
I like that Boba Fett starship hanging out over there.
Thank you. I pulled some of the.
You're on Tatooine.
The ships down there to see, but you can't. They're kind of far away.
Got it.
There. Oh yeah, I got.
I have nothing besides a Lego ATST right here.
Oh,
My samples for Wave 2 got sent to freaking Florida by accident. So yeah.
Yeah, I was down in Florida just a couple weeks ago for my brother's 40th, and I Googled toy stores nearby.
Oh my God, did you we're in Florida?
Uh Tamarack, which is right near Sunrise.
So oh man, well that's right where Jazwares
Yeah, and
headquarters are.
Jazwares came up, and I'm like, what would happen if I just walked in at Jazwares? And
You would be shocked. Like
yeah,
it's well actually no, they have a new office building that they just set up. So yeah. Oh, that's right. You guys are the Georgia Collector Alliance. I'm sorry. I'm actually doing quite a few of these over the next few days just to hype up wave 2. I couldn't remember who I was talking to today.
It's all
oh,
good. I saw that you were, man. You were like all over the place because you did the one with the guy that does the IG, that page. You were with
Mhm.
him. Either was it last night?
I think what was last? No, yeah, Nostalgia Garden was last night, and then
Yeah.
later this week, I had one guy who was like, "I'm very interested in the toy industry, and I don't have a podcast. But I want to have a Zoom call with you." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "This is a burner Facebook account." I'm like, "Prove I'm a real person. Here's my LinkedIn profile." I'm like, "Okay,
that's weird.
okay." I was young. I was once young, and I would reach out to toy people like that. So sure, I'll give it a shot. But yeah, no, and next week is the Star Wars collector group from Facebook. They're awesome. The Micro Fleet.
Yeah.
And then I think I have a few others. I don't remember. But I love talking Star Wars. I love talking Jazwares and all the fun stuff we do.
So to set this up for the audience, we're talking to Max Lux from Jazwares. He's the brand manager,
Yeah, I'm a senior brand manager. I
senior
can't
brand
believe I
manager.
just did the title check. Yeah, but yeah, senior brand manager for Star Wars and Halo. Recently Halo, and then of course other stuff in the future as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank
So
you
wait, where
for.
are you guys located in Georgia?
We're kind of 10 minutes apart from each other in Kennesaw, which is what, 20, 30 minutes north of Atlanta?
Yeah.
That's cool. When
Yeah.
I've been to Georgia once, and that was driving through it on my way to Florida because I moved from New York. Well, I moved from New Jersey to Florida, from Florida to California, and from California back to Jersey.
Wow.
Love Jersey. No, yeah, but if you were in Florida, oh my God, dude, there is Tate's Comics. That's the one you have to go to if
Yep.
you're
That's
Sunrise.
where we ended up going. Yeah.
Whew,
Phenomenal.
talk about a
Incredible.
Star Wars selection, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. I
That's
lost my
in
family in that shop because I was just looking at all the Star Wars stuff.
that's Fort Lauderdale, right?
that's yeah, it's
Yeah.
around. It's
Yeah.
like kind of like in the middle though. Like you kind of have to like go in from the coast quite a bit to get there. I love living in Florida. Like, not only is
Yeah.
the Jazzers home office there, but the best ramen I've ever had in my life was at Ramen Lab in Boca. I
Hmm.
went back to host a sales summit there, and I drove like an hour and 30 minutes out of my way just to get ramen at that one place. It's unbelievable.
Wow. I
Yeah.
guess I'll have to check that out next time I'm down there.
When I lived in Florida, I originally lived there alone. I was gonna test it out, and my wife was gonna drive down and live with me there. After we had kind of made up our minds about living in Florida versus Jersey versus somewhere else. And my when I was living alone there, what I would do on the weekends is I would literally wake up, I'd go to the gym, I would drive for lunch to I'd make the same thing for breakfast every day. I would drive to ramen, get ramen. There was a Target on the way, so I'd hunt stuff at Target, and then I'd go to Dairy Queen on the way back and get a Blizzard, and then I'd watch like My Hero Academia while eating the Blizzard. That was what I did like every weekend. It was the greatest thing of all time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I used to live in Miami Lakes, maybe about 20, 30 years ago. I'm losing track of time. And we'd go up to Pembroke Pines and hit Toys R Us and the Target up there. I remember getting a lot of my episode 3 stuff there, and I did Midnight Madness at that episode 1 Toys R Us.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
I didn't go to the original Midnight Madness for episode 1, but I remember seeing it covered from FAO Shorts in Times in Fifth Avenue, and then I did Midnight Madness for Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars and episode and Force Awakens, and those are great.
Yeah. I remember my friend yelling because it was just crazy. Like there was just rows and rows of Star Wars stuff, and everyone's just like, "Do you have Mace Windu? I'll take this. I'll take that." And he's just like, "I just want GI Joe," and everyone started laughing.
I would have just went. What year is that? That's 99, right?
99, yeah.
GI Joe then is burn. Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
if it was,
yeah.
oh my god, what year is that? It's 2010 through 2017. I would have been all over that. Oh god.
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment? And I'm sure that you guys have a bunch of things to actually talk about, but
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
talk about the golden age of collecting that we all lived through, which was geez, I would argue 2010 through 2016 is the golden age of collecting, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like that ever again.
Are you talking about just the sheer number of figures produced?
I think it's a multitude of things, right? So I mean, that's when Hasbro starts the vintage collection is 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
2010, 2011. Yeah, it's definitely 2010.
2010 to 2012-ish.
Hasbro is doing GI Joe. Hasbro for Transformers is doing the end of the second movie stuff, if I remember correctly, and then they did Hunt for the Decepticons, and they did all this other stuff that was like kind of outside the box, but the glut and the huge amount of product at retail was staggering.
Yeah.
You had Toys R Us, Target, and Walmart all competing for the same toy space. This is just pre-Amazon, right?
Yep.
And so the glut of product is going to physical retail shelves, and depending on where you live, that means there was a massive amount of overstock. It was real clearance for probably the last time in our generation on anything, including Lego. The amount of Lego I bought for pennies on a dollar in like the mid 2010s. Like you would go into Target and there'd be just rows of stuff all on clearance. And then also the like the kind of emergence of Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Ross as a place to kind of find this stuff. But then also you get vintage collection, you get the GI Joe stuff where they did the 25th anniversary. Do you guys remember 25th anniversary? Do you remember when that came out at Target? Like, oh god,
No, I'll be honest. I have blinders on. I just see Star Wars.
Oh man, well you got a Hiss tank, right? You got an actual Hiss tank.
Yeah.
You got a 3 3/4 inch figure for $10, 10 American dollars for those first ships. That's insane.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not going to see that anytime soon.
No, you're not. Like it's crazy. But yeah, that was the golden age of collecting to me. I remember my biggest regret story is I worked in New York. I worked at Marvel Comics in like the 2000s, and I going home from work one day, and there was a Toys R Us Express in Penn Station. And so you'd go in the mall in Penn Station. I usually do a lap around, check out Hallmark for the ornaments, check out Toys R Us Express, and then I'd go home. And I go in there, and they had the AT-AT, the big AT-AT, like the brand new Tool Amazing Incredible one for $25 a piece. I said to myself, they had 2 left. I said to myself, if I bring this home, my girlfriend will lose her mind. And so I passed up on it. But there was a reward for me because again, you guys mostly Star Wars, but I again, GI Joe, massive GI Joe fan. There was a lost wave of vehicles where you had the Stinger 4x4 with a Cobra Trooper, you had an Arctic Hiss tank, and then you had this other set. And for whatever reason, only Toys R Us Express got that wave, and they clearance them out for $10 a piece. And so I was like, I'm never making that AT-AT mistake again. I'm gonna buy as many of them as I can. Of course, I made the mistake 2 years later at Target when, do you guys remember the Jedi Assault shuttle that they did for Clone Wars?
Yeah.
It turns into a playset.
Yep.
$10 at Target. $10, and they had 20 of them. And I didn't buy them.
And this is why Hasbro's not making vehicles anymore, because we're just going to wait till clearance and then we'll buy them.
Well, I think it's that. It's also a massive amount of tooling expenditure that they would need to do, and the fact that it would need to be an A-tier vehicle. And they've also set the bar so incredibly high when it comes to the detail and quality that they want to do for that vintage line. And that's what collectors are expecting at this point. And they realize that they can charge a premium for that. And so they're just going after it. I mean, I have the ITT they did, I have the hover tank they did, and I have the skiff on my desk at work that they did, which are manned by GI Joes right now. But those things are beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're trying to like. That's the level of deco and detail we're trying to get with the line. But like, it's how many layers of paint are in that skiff? Like, I
Isn't it like
understand why they
80?
charge. It's insane. So
Yeah.
like, you have. Again, I think I did this the other one last night when I talked about Transformers 20 minutes. But like, you take the skiff, right? And you look at it and you're like, this is a $50 item, and you like kind of like question mark. And then you look at that, you realize that the body has been completely painted. You open up the panels on the inside and realize that they've not only painted, they've dry brushed weathering onto the circuitry details on the inside. And I'm like, you could have made this $20.
Nope. They had to match the barge with that one, particularly.
Oh,
quality.
that's true.
Yeah.
Massive Kitana sail barge that I know someone's gonna ask me to do one day. And I'll be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it might be one of the questions we have on deck, but we'll get to that at some point.
Oh my god. I'm sorry it's so dark in here. It's a great townhouse we live in, but for whatever reason they have no embedded lights, and so this is my desk lamp and like a side table lamp.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. This is my desk lamp. I kind of have it to the side so I'm not like completely washed out.
Yeah,
But
true. Well, if I was the twin sons of Tatooine sitting in the distance.
Could be. So tell us a little bit about how you became a toy designer, how you came onto the Star Wars Micro Galaxy line.
Well, I'm not a toy designer by trade. I'm actually I'm a senior brand manager, and I'll kind of explain what that is because I didn't know at the outset either. So I mean, do you want it's a long story. So essentially, although I hope it's interesting. I grew up and I loved Transformers. Transformers were my jam. Like ever since I could speak or hold things in my hands, I've been holding a Transformer. I have no idea why my parents bought them for me, considering that they're nowhere near the age grade that I could have I would have had at that point, but I had everything. I had Double Dealer, I had Power Master Optimus Prime, I had all this stuff. And as I got older, I noticed that my friends were all very much into sports and very much into like trading cards and stuff like that. I did not care about any of that stuff at all. If the only trading cards I collected were the Jurassic Park trading cards.
Yeah.
And so like I love Lego, I love Transformers, I love toys in general, like all the crazy stuff that was being released in the 80s and 90s. And as I got older, I kept on with it. Like you have most kids who age out of stuff, and I just didn't. I always thought they're really cool. I still think they're amazing. Like my desk, my entire this is my bedroom, but like I mean, I have a display case full of all the Transformers. I have bookshelves full of stuff. Yeah, so as I got older, I'm like, like, all right, this is my main focus. And what my dad would do, my dad was a doctor, and he would take us every weekend, my sister and I, and we would go to this place called Winston's in Morristown. So he would take us for rounds. We'd sit and watch cartoons. Then we go to Winston's in Morristown. And what was special at Winston's in Morristown? They had dead stock from the 80s in 1993, 1994, 1995. And for those listeners who don't know what dead stock is, before like all the independent toy shops had been completely destroyed by Toys R Us and Target and Walmart, there was overstock, and there were containers, and there was stuff that would sit in the back of these mom and pop stores and just not get sold. And Hasbro would have overstock too of stuff from like the 80s and 90s. And so this dead stock would filter out into stores, and you would be able to buy it for retail price. So
Wow.
I bought in 1994 a 1986 Ultra Magnus sealed in pack, which is incredibly rare nowadays.
Yeah.
The Deluxe Insecticons, like I would buy Transformers every week until 1995 when they didn't have any Transformers anymore. And I was like, well, what am I going to buy? They have GoBots exosuits. I don't care about GoBots exosuits, but they did have something else. They had something brand new they'd just gotten in, and it was the Power of the Force 2 TIE Fighter, Darth Vader, and Chewbacca. And I was like, I don't know what these are, but these look really cool. And so I got them and I played with them like nothing else. And by the if you're wondering, they were the red lightsaber card. Darth Vader was the point, I think it's the .00 issue where he had the super long lightsaber.
Yeah.
He had that.
And super buff, and
Yes,
what's up, bro?
super buff.
You're gonna
Super
at me,
buff.
bro?
One of the things I was able to get when I was in California, actually, is interesting, is I got a bunch of Lee's Action Figure Digest and Toy Review, if you remember those magazines from the
Yep.
90s.
Mhm.
I have the one that shows the Toy Fair prototype for the original Luke Skywalker.
Wow.
Which I think is just amazing. So
Pretty cool.
I don't know anything about Star Wars. So like literally later that year, my parents are having a Christmas party. And as when you're a kid and you go to a Christmas party, and I'm like 10 years old, I'm like, I don't want to talk to these people. So I go up to their room where all the coats are on the bed or whatever, and I start watching TV, flipping through channels, and I see the freaking Rancor scene from Return of the Jedi. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what's going on, but it's the coolest thing that I have ever seen in my entire life. And I was like, I remember asking my dad and kind of giving him a description. He goes, "Yeah, it's probably Star Wars. Your mom and I still on our first date together." And I was like, oh my God, I want to learn everything about Star Wars. So oh God, let's see. I got the book From Concept to Screen to Collectible, which for all you readers out there who can eBay it, it's a fantastic book. I took mine on one of the podcasts I did, and I destroyed the spine, so I can do it again.
Steven Sansweet.
Yep.
Yep.
I believe it is. I
Yeah.
believe. So I definitely see Sansweet. So I was like, this is amazing. But you know, it's the 90s, so Star Wars is coming back into vogue again. I remember always dreaming about finding like vintage carded figures back in the day. And so I get sick. I get like a cold, and my mom is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the bookstore." Remember bookstores? I think it was Walden Books.
Yep.
So she goes, "Do you want anything?" I want anything with Star Wars. And she goes, "Okay." So she goes and she gets me a magazine, and I'm like, "Who the hell is this? Captain American, Batman? I don't know. What is this?" It was a Wizard magazine that was polybagged with a Star Wars poster, and so she saw Star Wars and bought it for me. That got me into comic books, and so I read Wizard magazine religiously, Toy Fair magazine religiously, every month, and I learned more and more about comics. And so when I graduated college with a English degree and a film studies degree, which for any of you younger listeners out there, don't do that. Get a business degree, for God's sake. Never get an English degree. They're like, oh, you can use it for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I have an English degree, so I know what you're talking about.
Get a marketing degree.
Yeah. Go to engineering, kids.
Oh my God, 100%. My wife is hysterical. My wife is Persian. She's from Iran. She came here. She has her doctorate in civil engineering.
Wow.
And when she found that my parents let me go to a liberal arts school and get an English major, she's like, that was incredibly irresponsible of your parents. In Iran, we don't have the choice to go to a English or an arts program. It is engineering and engineering only. I'm like,
Yeah.
and we have a young son, and she's like, he is going to be an engineer. Like, yeah, he is.
Yep.
Don't worry, he might be.
Yeah, my daughter wants to be an artist, and I'm like, well, you got the math skills. Why don't we consider engineering?
Engineering is a type of art.
Yeah,
Right.
you need creativity. So
I graduate and I don't know what to do. And the first one I send out is my resume to Hasbro for a copywriting position. And again, I don't know how old you guys are, but like Jesus, like the first resume you sent out, like post grad.
no, it's not going anywhere.
I have no
Right.
experience, no internships, and I have an English degree. Will you hire me to be your copywriter for Transformers? Spoiler, no, they didn't.
No.
So I knew, because I was so into comics, and because thank God I knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew Rick Veitch, who's a famous comic author and artist. He wrote like an acclaimed run on Swamp Thing back in the day. We will get an interview with Marvel Comics, and I ended up interviewing with them 6 times.
Oh.
Wow.
And I worked on their brand assurance team for about 6 years. And what that means is I would, from a legal capacity, I would approve and review everything for toys and games, collectibles, action figures, video games. At one point, they wanted me to move out to LA to help with the video game team, but all that fun stuff. And that meant I get to say everything super early and like in the flesh.
Yeah.
And the other cool part is that Jesse Falcon and Damon Nee, who are two legendary people from Toy Biz who are now at Disney and Mattel, respectively, I got to meet them. And I was the only person in the entire company who geeked out about them because I knew about them from seeing their interviews in Toy Fair magazine, along with Joanne McLaughlin, who's she's super high up at Disney now too. So yeah, it just that's I got into that. So Jesse was really nice to me. He would always call me Hercules, and he still does whenever we run into each other. And or he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to this Hasbro pre-Toy Fair party?" And I go, "Yeah, definitely." So we take a cab downtown to go to this preview party, at which I got super drunk on these My Little Pony themed drinks, and I talked to the My Little Pony brand manager about bronies. And I said, I asked, oh man, I can't remember what was in that drink, but it tasted like you were drinking a pink fluffy cloud of lemonade. So I am like, Jesse, I want to do what you do. How do I do that? And he goes, you need to be a brand manager. I'm like, how do I become a brand manager? And he's like, you need to get your MBA. And I go, oh, damn it. So I went and I applied to school and I got my MBA. I did accelerated part-time for 3 years, or no, for 2.5 years, which meant that I woke up at 6 every morning to take the train in from Jersey to Marvel. At 5 o'clock, I would ride a city bike downtown 20 blocks to 13th Street, I think, to go to CUNY. I would be in class until 10 o'clock at night. I'd stay in the library until 11 o'clock at night doing homework, and then I would take the train back home and make it into bed by about 1 a.m.
Wow.
To do it
During
all
that
over
time-
again, right?
Yeah, Jesus. During that time, I saw my first dead body. I got hit by a car,
Oh wow.
and I got married. So it was
New York, the city that never
Oh
sleeps.
God, I will never. By the way, I get hit by a car. The very first thing somebody tells me as I'm screaming at this driver is, "Hey, I know that happened to you, and that's pretty bad, but just there's no reason to yell about it."
No reason at all.
My wife, upon learning that this had happened to me, drove into the city and bought me a Godiva milkshake from the Godiva store. Yeah, so I eventually was like, all right, cool. I have what I need to be a brand manager now. I have an MBA, which again, spoiler for you younger fans out there or younger listeners, you really don't need an MBA. You just need to learn to network better. And it really did spike me. By the way, what I also did at Marvel, which I glossed over, is I also did this thing called the facility and merchandise authorization. So what that means is every single factory used by any single Marvel licensee to produce Marvel product needs to live up to the standards of the Walt Disney Company from a compliance perspective.
Mhm.
So meaning that they don't use child labor, that they're safe, they treat the workers well, etc. So if you can imagine how many licensees Marvel has worldwide
Yeah.
and how many factories they use,
A pretty busy job, huh?
every single one of them passed my desk.
Wow.
I didn't take a day off for like 4 years at one point.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so I started calling people and I was able to get in touch with this amazing guy, Judd, who was the owner of this company called Zag Toys, a small collectible toy company in Orangeburg, New York. Ironically, literally like it's like 4 miles away from where the Toy Fair and Wizard offices were back in the day.
Yeah.
And I kind of cut my teeth with them as a brand manager. And it was through that that Jazwares came along, purchased Zag Toys, and allowed me to stay on as a brand manager. They eventually moved me out to Florida. And then after they acquired Wicked Cool Toys from LA, I really hit it off with the collectible and action figure team there. I mean, they're responsible for such legendary lines like AEW, the new Halo line, all of that. And they invited me to come out there. I also worked on Squishmallows, if you know what that is.
Yep.
Yeah,
My
so I
daughter
worked
has one.
I worked on that for 6 months,
Okay.
which was very interesting. Like plush is completely outside my wheelhouse, but to work on something that is literally like bigger than Beanie Babies,
Yeah.
it was a trip and a half.
It's huge.
Very, very interesting stuff, and like the what they're doing with the types of animals and creatures and designs is unlike anything I've seen before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I was in when I was in Judd is just, he's always been a great mentor, and he's just always looked out for me, and he's also he's given me so many opportunities, so I can't thank him enough. But I'm in Florida, and he calls me up one day and he goes, Max, do you know anything about Star Wars? And I go, if I know anything about Star Wars. Come on, Judd. By the way, at Zag Toys, I worked on the lines Domes, Zoteki. I don't know if you guys go to Target, but you might have seen some ducks, like rubber ducks that were $1 that were cosplaying as Disney characters. I did those.
No.
No, yeah, we sold millions and millions of pieces of them. They're amazing. But they're $1 each. I wanted to call them $1 ducks. We instead ended up calling them ducks with a Z at the end, which is cool. And yeah, so Judd's like, do you know anything about Star Wars? I go, do I know anything about Star Wars? So I sit in on the pitch or the meeting, and I help them develop a pitch for this line. I kind of took my leanings or learnings from what I had collected in the past. I've been a massive Micro Machines collector back in the day, a massive Action Fleet collector, and obviously a big Hasbro collector. And so I was like, what would be the ideal Star Wars vehicle line? A line that's vehicle first in every way. And we built Micro Galaxy Squadron. And as I was driving across the country, relocate to California, that's when we actually did the pitch to Lucasfilm. Our tire went flat in New Mexico. So the really nice conference center that I had booked to actually, I can't remember where in Arizona it was, but we ended up stopping in Phoenix after a lovely man named Bubba from Bubba's Tire and Auto repaired my car in this tiny little New Mexico podunk town that had a Denny's as their only branded establishment.
Yummy.
And yeah, I was able to make it just in time for the pitch, and thankfully we won it, and we've been working on it ever since.
Very thankful, because I love this line. This is a pretty cool line.
Yeah, honestly, the amount of love that we've gotten from this is just phenomenal, and we're so humbled by all the fans who have really kind of, I use the term glommed on, but I think have really gravitated toward, that's a better term.
Yeah,
have really gravitated towards it. Like, it's so exciting to see the kind of homegrown fan communities pop up. The fact that we have Facebook and Instagram pages that are dedicated to this brand from the outset is humbling, and is just a testament to how much the fans kind of understand what a labor of love this is for everybody on the team. So the only thing that I need to mention at the outset is that we have one of the most killer design teams in the entire industry working on this line. One of the gentlemen who started working on the line, his name is Tyrone. Ty worked for Kenner back in the day in Cincinnati. Ty sculpted the villains from the Centurions. Ty drew the Beast Wars eye. And he also, what was the other crazy thing? He also pitched, do you remember the Jurassic Park: The Lost World?
yes.
Yeah.
So that sequence where there's like all those vehicles chasing the dinosaurs.
Yep.
Yeah, that wasn't in the original script. Ty came in, pitched it as a toyetic idea to Steven Spielberg while they're working on the line, and Steven Spielberg was like, yeah, we need to write this into the movie.
That's awesome.
I that's not the first time I've heard something like that from the Jurassic Park era of stuff, because we've got some Kenner guys like Tim Effler lives down here, and he told the story several times about how he's pitching the line to Steven, and they're like, I like that logo, who owns it? And he goes, I designed it to show you the line. And Steven's like, I want the logo, and he bought the logo from Tim or whoever, because it was the toy, the Jurassic Park logo came from the toy line.
Dang.
So it's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's just a crazy story.
What was the other weird thing? And of course, the other team members, Dion Gihun over Columbus Day weekend, he actually built a half-scale version of a Star Destroyer in our scale out of plywood, just to show it to us and just for fun.
So how big would that be?
Oh my god, how big was it? It was 3 feet long, 4 feet long.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, we've got them. We've got some new recruits as well who are really great. We've got Adam, who's our project manager, who makes sure everything stays on time. Will, who's designed our packaging and has just done an incredible job with that. And his Olivia works with him. And then yeah, my boss Greg, who's helped kind of guide the entire thing too from a business perspective. Yeah, there's just so many great people working on this brand.
Yeah, and they're firing on all cylinders because it's pretty cool.
Awesome. So wait, can I ask you guys your collector stories? I'm sure you already shared them on the podcast, but how'd you get into Star Wars?
Glenn, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I can. Basically, it's always been there. You know, you earliest memory is Empire. Actually seeing Return of the Jedi in a theater, and
That's
just
cool.
You know, kind of always having it. You know, and then I got into Power of the Force too, bought all that crap, and then sold it several years later. Somebody offered me 150 a lot, and I said, "See," you know, took the money and ran. And then about 10 years ago, I went through a bad divorce and found Star Wars again. And
Sorry to hear, but congratulations on coming back into the fold.
Yeah, I found a wife that, or you know, she supported it, and she's a collector, so you know, I'm pretty fortunate. It started off where I was just going to collect what I had as a kid, and I've got a whole house full now 10 years later.
What's the rarest thing you got in your collection?
You rarest Star Wars or rarest anything?
Both.
Rarest anything I have is I have a almost complete. All I'm lacking is the Grim Reaper set of hard copies from Bill and Ted. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That yeah. So that, and then Star Wars wise, I don't.
What?
I've got, yeah, if you're going to say Star Wars wise, I have a set of Wampa teeth from Empire. Would be my rarest,
that's
probably
impressive.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, from production.
Yeah.
It wasn't
from the
film used, but it was production.
Yeah, like the extra teeth that they have.
Yep.
How about you, Jason?
I had a bunch of stuff when I was a kid, and then I remember my parents throwing all of the Star Wars stuff in a pile and all the He-Man stuff in the pile, like in the mid 80s, and said, well, He-Man's on TV, Star Wars is going nowhere. So they donated all that stuff. And then in the 90s, when Micro Machines came out, we started collecting Micro Machines. But when Star Wars became part of that line, I was all in that. And so I started collecting those, started collecting all the Action Fleet stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool because now I'm putting figures inside of the vehicles. And Power of the Force came out, and I've been collecting ever since. And I have a whole room downstairs that's just filled with all Star Wars stuff.
I have when I was in California, I didn't really enjoy California that much, to be transparent.
The Celebration?
No, just when I was in California living.
Oh, okay.
Celebration was amazing.
Yeah.
Just California, the state. What I did was there's a big OfferUp community there, and so I went on OfferUp and I was able to source every single, with the exception of the Battle Droid head, every single one of the transforming head playsets.
Yeah.
That they did for Star Wars. Obviously, I'll never own the Alien or Predator ones, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. So what's the rarest item in your collection, Jason?
I have a hard copy of Salacious Crumb, the Kenner version.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's my guy. I love
Tell
Evil
what
Kermit.
else you have. What else you have?
Yeah, I have a bunch of pre-production Micro Machines, Star Wars stuff, and Action Fleet stuff. And
wow,
it just picked up. Earl McCarthy did a lot of the sketch drawings for he did reference drawings for the Micro Machine line, and he would draw like an Imperial officer, and then he would give it to the sculptors so they have something to work with. So I got a couple of those recently.
And the biggest piece you have. Come on. I know. Do you?
What's the biggest piece?
The Imperial Guard.
Oh, I have a hard copy. That's right. I have a hard copy of the Imperial Guard transforming playset.
What?
Yeah.
How the heck did you find that?
I know a guy who knows a guy.
I wanted you to share that so you
I
could
completely
understand where
forgot.
this
That's
guy's serious
insane.
about the micro collection
Yeah.
stuff, micro machine stuff. He loves it. He's got an insane collection of micro stuff.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, man. That's amazing. You know what? I didn't
Action.
realize. I didn't realize it was rare until just recently. Do you guys remember Pizza Hut did a promo where they had the mini transforming head playsets
Yep.
that were polybagged?
Yep.
I didn't know that those are released on card too, and that they're insanely rare.
Yeah,
Like,
they are.
there's a 4-1 set.
Yep. Yep. That's a tough one.
Just found out about that today. Like, wow.
And there's like a box set that sells for $300 to $500 of
Which
all of
one's
them.
that?
What's that?
All like the later wave ones.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I would love to have that. I had I got a bunch of them from Pizza Hut back in the day, but yeah, I've always been hunting down the rest of them. I got the first series box set, but like the second one has been elusive.
Yep. It's a pretty cool line. I miss it. And so when I heard that you guys had Micro Machines, and I thought maybe you were bringing back Action Fleet, but this is something kind of different because it's all in scale.
Yeah, we're roughly at a scale. We try to stick to I think it's 196 scale. But we do have to fudge things every so often just to make the things manufacturable and not be like a ridiculous length. Like the Millennium Falcon 2 scale at 196 would be about, I think it was like, because we made models, I think it would be like 4 to 5 inches longer, and that's not going to hit your price point.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, someone was asking me about the Falcon in relation to Slave One, and they thought the Slave One was a little too big, but it seems like it's the Falcon that's a little smaller than.
It's a little smaller.
Wait,
than
thanks for stealing one of my questions, Jason.
Go ahead, ask your question.
No, he's talking. He's answering it.
How do you figure out the scale? Like, do you work with Lucasfilm to say this is how big this ship should be?
Yeah, we do work with Lucasfilm to ensure that things stick to our size classes. So we have our Scout class blinds, which are $5.99, our $12.99 light armor class, our $16.99 starfighter class, $20.99 starship class, and then assault class is everything above that. So we try to make sure that things fit within the same retail footprint and price point, but we do reference, I have formulas and stuff like that to make sure that we hit close to 196 scale. And we work with Lucasfilm on the official dimensions of the vehicles too.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to fudge some stuff to make sure things fit.
Okay. Yeah, because we had a friend that was just like that. The Slave One just looks off, and I'm like, I think it looks okay.
You mean both at Starship?
Yeah, it'll always be the Slave One to me.
My favorite meme of probably the last year and a half was it's the scene from episode 1 of Anakin talking to Padme, and she goes, "You're a slave?" And he goes, "I'm a Boba Fett starship."
That's great.
Yeah, I have a custom license plate, and I wanted to do Slave One, and my wife and the lady at the DMV was like, "You're not getting that in Georgia, man. No way.
Not in the South. No.
A BBAFT ST.
SHP. I don't know if that would work, but
Yeah, I don't think you want fire spray either. It's kind of weird to have in a car.
well, since I stole your question, you have any other questions, Glenn?
Well, the only other question I had is for the Falcon was when we were at Celebration, you had an Easter egg on it. I can't get it to do in the production. Is it still in the production?
Yeah, definitely. If you hold down the button to enter hyperspace 4 times in a row, the 5th time it should break down.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, now he's
Do I
going
have
to
to
do
like?
it.
All right, so you turned it on. Press. and
Right.
hold
So
down
now it's
once.
on.
Press
So
and hold down.
hold it.
Did it go to hyperspace?
Yeah.
Do you have a battery in
Okay,
it?
do it again.
So release it.
Yep, do it again. And hold it up to the microphone so I can hear it. Did it do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was like, it's not doing it.
So you hold it down 4 times, and on the 5th time, it's going to do it.
It's either you
Okay.
hold it 3 times and the 4th time, or you hold it 4 times, does the 5th time.
Okay.
Okay. And I kept trying it. I'm like, it's not working. So, yeah. And why, I guess going back to the Falcon again, why didn't you put Luke in it to begin with? Or is that just a...
So, are you guys comic book fans?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Are you familiar with the Marvel No Prize from the 60s?
No.
No. Yeah.
So Marvel, Stan Lee did this thing. I think it was Stan Lee. Probably attributing to him falsely, but he did this thing where if you found a continuity error in a Marvel comic and you pointed out both the continuity error and then why it wasn't a continuity error, like offering an explanation as to why it's actually, flying, you would get a no prize, which is an empty envelope with no prize stamped on the front of it. So what I've been doing is I've been offering no prizes for people who actually try to justify why it comes with Leia instead of Luke, or why it comes with Obi-Wan instead of Luke. And the best answer I've gotten so far is because Leia is not really associated with any vehicles that are, within the relative price point that we wanted to hit. So we wanted to make sure that she was included with the Falcon. And then we, of course, corrected that in the Death Star Escape box set, which has Luke Skywalker. And don't worry, there's going to be another Tatooine Luke later down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor too.
I would imagine if there was some sort of speeder going across the sand, I would include Luke with that.
And maybe
we would include a Tusken Raider and R2D2.
Okay.
But R2's in the thing.
R2's in like 10 vehicles. I know that's the only thing. There's so many R2D2s.
He's in the I was going blind box because he's in the escape pod.
I love that is probably the coolest blind box that we've done to date.
I really dig that blind box.
Yeah. And everybody's like, why isn't C3PO included? Don't worry. There's other escape pods. There's other reasons for C3PO to exist in the line. Don't worry.
Yep.
You'll get your C3PO. Hopefully one day you'll get your Droids Rebellion C3PO with the freaking jetpack, the red eyes, and the rocket launcher.
Okay, cool. You heard it.
I don't know what vehicle we'd include him in, but I want to do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Was that Afro's droid?
No. So Dark Horse did a series where I think it's C3PO. No, it's C3PX. Hasbro did a figure of him too, where he essentially there's a droid. I don't think I ever read it, but like there's an image of him online where it's like C3PO with Boba Fett's jetpack, red eyes, an X over the top of his head, and then like he's holding like a blaster rifle, and it's freaking badass.
Is that like a What If comic?
No, I got C3PO Droids Rebellion.
I don't have to.
Weird stuff that you just remember, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dark Horse, it was Droids 3. The Droid Rebellion crew and Protocol droids. C3PO led a droid revolt against Boonta the Hutt, which I can't believe is a thing. Come on. There's gotta be the image. There's the cover image of him with a rocket launcher. Maybe we'll try C3PX. Yeah, type in C3PX. That's so cool.
Okay, so let me look C3PX.
Yeah.
C3.
Okay, he's not. He's a protocol droid that's the same model as 3PO, programmed to be an assassin droid.
Dang.
Was he in Droids Rebellion? I guess he wasn't. I guess I was wrong. He worked with Darth Maul.
Huh.
That's crazy. I've
By the
never
way-
seen
by
that
the
guy
way,
before.
Every time I hear Darth Maul, I think Darth, let's go to the mall.
Everything's half off.
Oh, it's so badass. How badass is that? He's got
That's pretty
a
cool.
freaking
Yeah.
rifle. Anyway.
So-
It's awesome.
Amazing.
We did have a
See?
couple people ask or send us some questions, so I wanted to go through a couple of those. I know you probably can't answer, like for example, the first one. Any plans to make Ahsoka Starfighter or the Blue X-Wing from season 7 from the Clone Wars? If you haven't announced it, you probably can't.
7. Is that the Jedi Interceptor version? or it appears for one episode.
Is the Blue Y-wing from Rebels 2 as well, Glenn?
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. You're talking about Ahsoka's ship from Rebels, not Clone. No, Clone Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars
Clone
6 and
Wars.
7. She had a Jedi Interceptor version of a Jedi Starfighter.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was the Battle of Catanamordia. So if you know, like, yeah, that should answer your question if I know what battle it's from.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Um, although I can't give a definitive date on that because I'm trying to remember where I put it. If I put it, did I put it? I don't know.
No,
But I
good.
definitely thought about it.
Yeah. Apparently.
Ahsoka's OG Jedi Starfighter, the oh my god, the Delta 7B with the hyperdrive ring is in series 2.
Yep. That's about to drop
That was
soon,
it.
like any week now.
Apparently it's dropped. Apparently somebody found Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, which plug is my second favorite vehicle from Wave 2. It's incredible.
Yeah. Why do you like that one so much?
It's so compact and yet it has everything that you would want from Yoda's Jedi Starfighter and more. It has a tiny Yoda. It comes with R2D2, so you can actually plug it into the droid socket. There's a droid socket release button, but there's also 3-prong landing gear and then opening wings and an opening cockpit. And it's just so
Nice.
compact and fun to swoosh around. It's great.
That's pretty cool. It's got to be fun to design toys like that and try to figure out what play features. Like, how do you decide what play feature goes with which vehicle?
So there's like brand managers work in different ways. What brand managers really do at the end of the day is they kind of provide guidance and they kind of help shape the line and make sure that things move along and ship on time. So they work cross-functionally with marketing, with design, packaging, management, sales to make sure that the stuff gets produced on time, under budget, and of a great standard of quality. Some brand managers will just be like, yeah, cool, we're gonna do a series of Star Wars vehicles, Wave 2, work with Lucasfilm design team to figure out the best vehicles to do. Because I'm such a Star Wars nut and because I'm so passionate about this line, what I do is I work to determine the ships based on what's coming up in terms of content, anniversaries, etc. So like, looking at when Phantom Menace's anniversary is going to be, Return of the Jedi's anniversary, all of that. And then I work with Lucasfilm to ensure that those ships kind of match with what their franchise priorities are, and they provide us really the best guidance in terms of what the best ships are going to be from a retail perspective and then from a fan resonance perspective. And then what I'll do is I'll send out kickoff emails that include all the information about the product, the characters that are going to be included, and then the action features that I'd love to see incorporated into the vehicles. And then the design team uses that as a jumping off point, and then it becomes a collaborative process of us working together to determine what's going to be best for the vehicles.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very much a team effort.
Yeah, because like the playability on the Razor Crest and the Falcon is insane for a little bitty ship.
Well,
Yeah.
the fact that the design team worked in a speeder bay into the LAAT is just incredible. Like
I haven't opened that yet. I just got that today.
Yeah, if you open the back hatch, there's a peg that's like the peg that is included with all the speeder bikes, where you can actually plug a BARC speeder into the back.
Oh wow!
And swoosh it around and take it with you.
Wow. I can't wait to dig into that.
Yeah. I love
Now-
that. The funny thing is I was so against initially having those figure clips in the middle of the lat, but at the end of the day, like I actually handled a version where I had broken them off. It's not fun at all without those clips. Like those clips really make it. They're great.
Okay. All right. I'll have to dig into that after this. I don't want to hold you up too much because I know we've had you for a while and it's getting late.
For like
But
half an hour, dude. It's fine.
okay. All right. Just making sure. Just want to be respectful of your time.
No, I mean, as soon as my wife texts me and says that I'm being a terrible father by not spending more time with my child, then I'll need to jump. But I'm good.
Okay.
good.
All right. Now I know you said, and this is quite obvious, that it's a vehicle first line, but is there any way to get like more stormtroopers for the ITT? Planning on any character packs?
Well, so what we did is like we tried to make the assortments for the blinds as much of an army builder's dream as possible, in that we're encouraging you to buy multiples of those army builders so that you'll be able to get those characters and those vehicles that you can then incorporate into your larger overall army, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be a way to get more stormtroopers later on in those blind packs. Scout troopers, you already know. Clone troopers, you've already seen that with the Bark speeder. So it's about building up your army in terms of vehicles and then having those characters alongside it so you can populate your other vehicles. Like on my desk at work, I have my my lat. Well, it's a secret lat repaint that night. You know what? I'll actually use you guys too. So Nostalgic Adam's getting one reveal. You guys are getting one reveal at a later date.
Okay.
It's an exclusive. But yeah, it's there's a very special lat coming out.
I can use my imagination and think what it might be, but I don't want to.
Oh
rock any
no,
boats
no,
right
the one you're thinking of is coming, but that's not coming until spring. This
Ooh.
I can't be any more specific, but it's a version of versions of the lat.
Okay.
But anyway, my lat is staffed with Grogu in one of the ball turrets, and then the Mandalorian in one of the ball turrets. So yeah, it's yeah,
Pretty fun.
but yeah, the thing is, like, there's no reason to like make a micro figure accessory pack, because it is vehicle first, and it's something where the vehicle is the star of the show, and really the micro figure accessories are kind of not set dressing, but they're there to pilot the vehicles.
Yeah. And just to clarify some of these exclusives, are they timed exclusive?
Nope.
So
retailer exclusive usually. Well, sometimes we have windows where it will be retailer exclusive, but from a region locking perspective, they're only exclusives domestically. So like I think the Havoc Marauder was sent to Walmart Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
So yeah, it's a Target exclusive in the US.
Okay. Cool. Just clarifying. Thank you.
And it kicks ass and it's beautiful and I love it.
And then I ordered that new pack. I can't remember which one is it. The Death Star Chase. Is that what it is?
So Trench Run?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, with the stands. Are you planning on putting?
Oh, that's the evasive action set. Yeah.
Are you planning on any more stands in the future, or packing them in with future vehicles?
We'll usually include them in with future vehicles if the vehicle can't kind of stand on its own, just as a way for display purpose. Like the both at Starship can be posed in landing position. But for some other, I'll call them exclusive items, I'm thinking of ways to incorporate a stand into just a single pack, but you'll need to wait for that one.
Stand by.
Yeah, the evasive action set was something special. We kind of tested the waters when it comes to the stands. So assuming that does well, then we'll keep doing stands, or we'll find a way to incorporate stands into the line overall.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have more questions. Glenn, do you have any? I don't want to just monopolize the time.
What's been, I know I've seen some people like customizing stuff. What's been your favorite custom
All right,
work
so
that you've
I'm a bad guy because somebody sent me one of the customs they did where they somehow kit bashed an ARF trooper helmet onto one of the clone bodies, and they sent me a fully washed and redecoed ATRT with a ARF trooper on it that was also fully washed and redecoed, and that thing is beautiful, and it's sitting on my desk at work, so I need to send them a very nice thank you letter. It's hard because there's some guy on the Facebook group who customizes and 3D prints wings and stuff like that, and I'm just always impressed by their work.
Is that Kevin? Kevin Tanner?
Yeah, I think so. That guy's a genius. Super nice guy too. Yeah, I think that's it. Like the people who put the wash into the figures to really, or the micro figure accessories to really bring out the level of detail that we're able to incorporate into those things is just really impressive. And the reason that we haven't washed the micro figure accessories themselves is that it's just very challenging because of how small they are. And you're just gonna get, if you're doing it at a factory level, you're gonna get a wash over spray, and it's just gonna look bleh. But you have people doing it on their own. They're taking a lot more time. They can easily do it by hand. One of the other things that I've seen some criticism on is like, well, there's not that much paint. The amount of paint that we were able to get on these micro figure accessories and the vehicles given the size of everything from a manufacturing standpoint, is nothing short of revolutionary. And people are like, well, look at the old Micro Machines line. Yeah, I have looked at the old Micro Machines line, the ones that were sculpted at like 4 up, and then they were hand painted in China in the 1990s. That doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Like this
Right.
could be $150 if we did that.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I
no,
like the price point as it is.
right. No, but seeing some of the blackwash that people are doing makes me want to go blackwash my figures, because when you do look at those figures, because I was looking at Moth Gideon, and it's an incredible sculpt on a little, a figure that big. There's no way you should be able to get that much detail on it on that small of a figure, but it's crazy.
The Han was the best for me. I just like seeing the Harrison Ford face in there at that scale was just impressive. And what I did do is I actually took my Action Fleet guys and I measured them against it to like Obi-Wan, Han, Chewie, etc., just to see what they look like compared to the Action Fleet ones. And oh my gosh, they're just so cool.
So speaking of sculpts real quick, do you Z-sculpt these vehicles and the figures?
We actually we're lucky enough that Lucasfilm has a lot of 3D files for a lot of the ships. And so we're able to work off of those at least as a starting point, because like look at the Y-wing. Like if you haven't looked at a Y-wing lately, like holy cow, the amount of detail, the amount of greebling, as the Lego community calls it, that you have in that Y-wing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And resculpting that by hand would make our regular 12-month development timeline probably like 18 months. But yeah, we 3D sculpt everything, and yeah, the micro figure accessories are obviously the biggest challenge, because there's no starting point from a 3D sculpt perspective. So what we need to do is we need to constantly provide reference to previous micro figure accessories we've done, to kind of show, okay, this is how the clothing should look. This is how the oh my god, the shoulder pad should be asymmetrical here, just like on this character, etc. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And how do you decide chases? Sorry, Glenn.
No, man, you're good.
Yeah. So I also know that chases have been not a sore point, but something that people have brought up. So when we're doing the line, obviously we do have a collector segment of the community that's buying the line. We also have a kid and casual consumer segment that's kind of the long tail of our overall business, and we need to ensure that we have A or B tier vehicles on shelf at all times in order to sell.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan. I want to do crazy stuff. Like I want to do stuff from Rebels that's never been done before. I want to do Sabine's TIE Fighter. And the way to do that is by having a limited production run on them. Because God forbid, we make Sabine's TIE Fighter or Hera's A-Wing a common tier vehicle, and it sits on shelf, then that's not good for us. And it's also something where it's like, well, do Rebels characters really sell? Yeah, we all know they really sell. They're great, but it's something that becomes more of a challenge. So we want to ensure that sellout, and we want to ensure that sell through, which is where the rares and the chases come in.
So it's a way to insert vehicles into the line that you can't normally get them into the line.
Correct.
Okay, so that's how you figure it out.
Challenge from a kind of justification perspective, and not because they're bad vehicles, but because the understanding of them might be more limited, or the general knowledge of them might be more limited.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the weirdest chase that we've planned out so far.
Well, I already know a couple people that are looking for that Sabine TIE Fighter. 2 on this call right now, but we know a couple more people that are looking for it. So
I love it. It came out so beautifully. The deco is great. Sabine looks great.
Well, Glenn has one of his dogs named Sabine, so
That's
crazy. If I had any samples, I would send them your way, but I don't.
Yeah, I would love you forever if you did that.
Yeah, I have one sample that I've kept. It's from our spring 23 wave. Mm-hmm. I love that thing to death.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a ship I've been waiting for a long time, and just to know that it's being released is pretty incredible. So yeah, I've put the word out, so I've got people looking for it that have said, if I ever find it, I'm shipping it to you. So I want to go to blind bags. Mm-hmm. Is there a way that you guys have worked on maybe making them less tamper proof or more tamper proof?
Well, we
because
did
there's
do
not-
we did do essentially a full seal to it. Like we put wafer, like large wafer stickers on the top and bottom of each box, which should be enough to make them more tamper proof. But yeah, I understand that people are cutting it, and that's something where I am talking that through with the team. Whether it's we do a different type of box, we glue it shut or something of that nature to make it more tamper evident.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because we've
We just shocked people at retail who tried to open it in the store, but I don't think that's possible. It'd be too expensive to put the mechanism in the box.
What about?
'Cause
Well, I
we-
guess like Lego
Yeah, go
does the
ahead.
bags.
right.
Not anymore.
Oh no, they don't do bags for their mystery figures.
Well, no, the next wave is going to be boxed.
Huh.
Oh, reducing plastic.
Yep.
Oh,
Also,
That, I think-
enjoy your paper bags with Lego pieces too.
Jeez.
The plastic bags are being replaced by paper bag, which I actually think is great because apparently somebody was reviewing it and they said the paper has a plasticky feel to it, so it's much stronger than regular paper. It's not like tissue paper or anything like that, so you still get the pieces and it's fine.
yeah.
I mean, for me, it's all over because they stopped using the bags with the tiny little holes in them that they had in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, yes. I remember those now. Yeah.
They had a smell. There was a specific Lego smell.
Yeah.
Gone.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, like the Lego company is the largest manufacturer of tires in the entire world.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, we're winding down. Any plans for Cloud Car?
Winding
Viewing-
down. It's 9:30. God.
Well,
Why- yeah,
again,
we-
we're trying to
How
respect
long
your
is your
time.
podcast?
I mean,
It's
I-
9:30. What am I going to be doing
all
besides
right,
go
let's
to bed?
party. Let's party, man.
I'm
Let's party.
38
Um,
years old and have a child. I don't party anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
Any
I just gave a spiel about how I freaking I loved toys until I was in my late 30s. So yeah, I didn't party very much to begin with.
No, I'm in the same boat. I was buying
Yeah.
figures, not buying beer and going to parties at college.
I know, didn't you? You looked at like $8 for a beer. I can buy a Star Wars figure for
Yeah.
that, and that will last me
Yep.
much longer and be better for my health.
Yeah, exactly. The beer will be gone that night, but I'll still have the action figure.
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys questions now. What's your favorite bizarre Star Wars action feature that you've had in a figure or vehicle or whatnot?
Bizarre action figure feature. I don't know.
For me,
Wow.
it's all about the good decapitations and the limb removal. So like defeated Darth Maul with the magnet in his waist.
Oh, wow, okay.
Bespin Luke with removable hand.
I have that one with
The
the bloody
Wampa
stump.
with removable arm.
There you go. Glenn.
Yeah, the Wampa, the Black Series Wampa, that's kind of weird that you remove the arm and it's red underneath.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Well, going back to Action Fleet, unless you want to talk the Tatooine Action Fleet set, they have the Uncle Ben and Aunt
The skeletons, yes.
Yeah, they got their
Brew.
skeletons.
the only official release of the charred skeletons of Uncle Owen and Aunt Brew in
Yeah.
oh my god, it's the Death Star Mos Eisley playset from Micro Machines. Yeah.
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 Some phenomenal engineering in that piece too.
Right.
I was always disappointed in that one when I was a kid because I had it and I was like, wow, it's the Death Star. It opens up into a thoroughfare of Tatooine. Not really sure how to play with this.
Yeah.
Tatooine based vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, Jason, you may have to help me word this right, but so we're noticing, like, when the line first came out, they were hard to find, and now that we're seeing them, especially like the higher end stuff, like the Falcon and the Razor Crest, we're
Mhm.
starting to see them a lot sitting on shelves. Is that something that's concerning to you guys?
No.
It's the holidays.
Yeah, what day is it? It's 11/3/2020,
Right.
2022.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're increasing stock for the season. Our procurement and planning team has done a fantastic job about limiting overall production to make sure that we don't run over and that we can continue to ship new waves of product. So yeah, I'm not concerned.
Okay, awesome.
We can
Yeah, 'cause
reconvene on December 31st.
all right. Yeah, we've just been talking and we're like, wow, but I never thought that. Oh yeah, it's Christmas, so it's Christmas season, so ramp it up.
mean,
Mariah
personally,
Carey's
I have-
here. It's time.
I've
Yeah.
never seen a single blind box on shelf. ever.
Really?
I go to Target, Walmart every single day, and I've never seen a single one.
Yeah, they're cleaned out. That's because Glenn and I are living so close. We clean them out. But yeah,
Well, the reason I was asking about the tamper proof is if we find them, and if we're not the first one there, somebody's gone through with a pocket knife and cut 'em.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
yeah, there
cut
was
them
one
all
at
open.
They're
Walmart.
rough down in Georgia, aren't they?
Yeah, dude, I've seen people take the figures out. I looked at a box and I was like, it's manufacturing. I'm thinking, quality control. What are they doing at Jazwares? And then you look and somebody took a razor blade and stole the Luke out of it.
Welcome to Georgia.
So again,
Yep.
I'm a big Transformers fan. I've been looking for Blitzwing as a triple changer forever. Go to local Walmart, I see a box, pristine condition on the shelf. I pick it up, it weighs nothing because somebody just taken the toy out and returned the box.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, that's one of the concerns about the plastic free is that people are going to start doing that.
Yeah, that's the
I
concern.
think at the same time, like if you own a consumer packaged goods company or you work for a consumer packaged goods company, you understand that packaging is from the most part meant to be discarded. And I think that people are like, oh well, you make plastic toys and blah blah. Yeah, we're working on companies are working on making more biodegradable or eco-friendly recycled plastic products. But at the end of the day, the biggest waste driver is going to be that packaging because you're making this item as a durable good that you can keep for a while. So I actually have no problem with the plastic free packaging, and I know that it's something that most of the industry is moving towards. So it's something that's here to stay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Also, I mean, not to talk Hasbro again, but like, did you guys buy the Halloween Clone Trooper?
I did not, but we have a friend who's army building them.
Like, what they did with that is just beautiful. Like the tissue wrap around the figure itself is Halloween themed with an exclusive print. The accessories are bagged in a kind of a plasticky papery
Like a
substance.
tissue paper almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it keeps everything in there. It doesn't rip, and it's a way to be at least more environmentally conscious. Also, the only thing that you're actually printing is the outside of the packaging too. So it's much more easily recyclable to have a non-bleached cardboard interior to the box instead of having a printed thing behind it. So yeah, I'm all for it. I know it's controversial. I know it's going to cause issues later down the line in terms of people swapping stuff, not being able to see the paint on stuff before you buy it. But I mean, as a Lego consumer, I've dealt with that for eons. So
Yeah.
come on, questions.
What else you
Okay.
got? Come on, Jason.
All right. So if you had one vehicle that turned into two vehicles, i.e., the Phantom and the Ghost, would you approach that as one giant vehicle, or would you approach that as two separate vehicles?
I think the Ghost is a very interesting exception here because if you remember, there's two versions of the Phantom. So it's which one do you want to do? My gut would tell me to do both versions of the Phantom, or take the more popular version, sell it separately, take the Ghost, sell that separately because it's going to be big. The Ghost is huge, and we would want to do the Ghost nearer to scale. It'd be at the Falcon price point or higher. It's bigger than the Millennium Falcon. And then I would actually probably try to work a retail exclusive holiday item where I would have the Ghost with the Phantom 2 or whichever the least popular version of the Phantom is. That way there's incentivization for you to go to that retailer at the holiday and pick up that item.
There you go, Glenn. He'll take all sorts of anything you can do with the Ghost. If the Ghost was painted red for one episode, make the red version. He doesn't. He wants it all.
Yeah.
I mean, we can paint a B-wing red and make that who flies that? Is that Hera?
Hera.
Yeah, Hera flies it. That's the
It was
first
like a
B-wing.
prototype version
Yeah,
of the
prototype
B-wing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I do want to touch on from an A-wing standpoint. So the A-wing, the sculpt for the A-wings, the various different A-wings is insanely similar.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was some flack about or there was some concern about us doing like the using a specific version or specific sculpt of the A-wing for Hera's A-wing, but they're all relatively extremely similar, and it's kind of almost not worth retooling just like the back engine piece to do a regular A-wing.
I haven't seen it, so I haven't been paying that close of attention to the sculpt of that specific
Wow,
A-wing.
but they were revealed on Yahoo Entertainment.
No, I did, but I didn't go to an A-wing and
Lord.
said this is not right, and this is
Oh well, that's Star Wars, man.
yeah.
Dude,
It's a-
we're you can't make a Star Wars fan happy if you hadn't figured that
No.
out yet.
No.
Well, what's crazy is we seem to be making a lot of Star Wars fans happy, which as a Star Wars fan, I didn't anticipate. Like people are very, very happy with the product. Like for
Yeah.
the most part, you have people who have concerns or have things that they would like to have seen differently, but everybody's pretty civil.
Well, I think you guys have got a good product at a good price point, because and you can't, some people, you can't have a big X-Wing or a big, TIE fighter or whatever, and you got a $15 TIE fighter that fits in the palm of your hand. What
Mhm.
more could you
Exactly.
want?
Mhm.
You get a TIE fighter with action features and a microfigure accessory for $12.99, which last I checked is $4 less than the competition.
Right.
Right.
I'm sorry, a standard action figure of the competition.
Yeah. Oh, just an action figure. You're right.
Yeah, that went up to $17 this week for Hasbro.
Yep, gotta keep that plastic packaging if you want that bubble, guys. That's the bubble thing.
That's Jason's number one concern because he's a TVC guy and he's like, please at least finish the line before you get rid of the plastic.
I had every single TVC item ever produced, with the exception of the San Diego Comic-Con sets, and my parents sold them all
Oh,
when I was in Florida during COVID.
did you know they were doing that, or they just went ahead and did it?
They were like, we want to move soon. I'm like, cool, it's COVID. I'm not flying back to New Jersey right now. And they're like, cool. And I came back and my mom was like, I found this really lovely young man. He's about your age and he was so excited to see all these items. And he bought all of them.
Ouch. That takes me back to my childhood.
I had two Serapis from Clone Wars. I love that figure.
Yeah.
It is probably one of my favorite action figures I've ever owned. Is that Serapis, and it's gone. And have you looked at the prices of Serapis? The prices of Serapis are freaking insane right now.
That hurts. That takes me back to my childhood when I got rid of all my stuff.
I still have my Max Reboot band set, so it's not the end of the world.
Did they at least get a good price, or was
They
it like
did. I
Okay.
was shocked that she got a good price. She didn't get a good price in Joe's, unfortunately, but she got a good price in Star Wars stuff.
Good.
awesome?
Yeah, I had the entire Jungle Strike thing from Pursuit of Cobra, which is like the Alien homage set, and yeah, she sold that for cheap.
So we had somebody
What's-
else. So go ahead.
I'm sorry. What's your favorite ship? I mean, if you had to pick a ship out of the whole lot?
It's coming spring 23 is all I can say.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a massive. My favorite piece of Star Wars media ever produced is the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series.
Mhm.
So anything from that has a very special place in my heart,
Okay.
and you'll be seeing more Clone Wars ships from that
Awesome.
specific piece of content.
Nice. So Lucasfilm was letting you do that kind of stuff.
Lucasfilm again has been they're incredible partners to work with. They're incredible teammates, and they provide us incredible direction. They're very like they want to succeed, obviously.
Yeah.
The line succeed at retail, and so they do provide guidance. But thankfully, stuff like that has been available and getting new eyes thanks to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
We've also got an entire Marvel Comics series, or about multiple Marvel Comics series from Star Wars. So there's all sorts of stuff to mine from.
So you could do the expanded universe, like the Outrider from Shadows of the Empire. She's your sip.
What's so crazy is everybody wants the Outrider. I
Really?
want the Outrider, but like it's so impressive with how many people want that ship.
Did not know that. I just pulled that out of my head. Maybe I want that too then.
Dude, everybody wants the Outrider. It has
Yeah.
to be Dash and Weeaboo.
Yep.
And then we have to do the the Virago Starfighter, and that should come with Prince Caesar and Guri,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. If you also have to do the
The
swoops,
swoop bike. Yep.
the swoop bikes, and then I think that was the only other thing. I think Boba Fett appears in that. It'd be cool to do a like a pixelated deco on Boba Fett Starship and release that.
It'd be cool to do like an Ewok in his glider, that kind of stuff.
What way?
That'd make a great blind bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how we would do the flight stand for it. But I mean, that's for me. That's not the most iconic Ewok vehicle from that movie.
It'd be the Ewok on the speeder bike. Maybe. Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That would be a chase. That would be a fun chase piece to do,
that would be that. Yeah, my wife would actually chase that one down. She loves
especially if it
those.
was on fire.
That'd be great.
Oh, where was I? Oh.
So the Imperial Walker, I mean, you've got snow speeders coming out. The scale of the Imperial Walker, are we talking like the Kenner size Imperial Walker, AT-AT, AT-AT, whatever you want to call it?
I mean, the Kenner one, the first Kenner was woefully out of scale. This would be closer if we did the AT-AT. It would be closer to realistic scale, but it would be
Yeah.
big.
It would be bigger than the original Kenner one.
No. I think because I've done measurements for all the vehicles. The only one that's so absurdly large that you would never think it'd be that big is the turbo tank. The turbo tank's freaking enormous. You do the turbo tank to scale, that thing is literally like you can't even see my arms. It's so much bigger than the ATT. It's bizarre. But yeah. If we did an AT-AT, it would be like one of our big featured driver items, and we'd, do all kinds of cool stuff with it.
Yeah. We're trying to figure that
That'd be
out
another one my
ourselves.
wife would want. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, that would be another one my wife would want because she's for some reason likes Ewoks and AT-ATs.
Yeah, you're AT-ATs.
If only you could combine the two together into an Ewok infested AT-AT.
I'm sure somewhere on Endor they were doing that. We just never saw it in Return of the Jedi.
100%. They just took over the entire AT-AT.
Yeah. After the Empire left, that's what they were doing. Taking
Right.
over the bunker. Having a party. Eating stormtroopers.
Monster.
Well, here's something. Why do the Ewoks have a dress that just happens to be Leia's size?
Because they ate the other one that came by and they kept her dress.
They made it for her out of animal pelts in time for the celebration.
Yeah.
My favorite Star Wars moment from Return of the Jedi Special Edition is the Mon Calamari officer, who I think is Admiral Akbar, just dancing by the fire with the Ewoks. So great. It's so great. You just know they brought that guy back for one more day of shooting. Like, we need a party scene. Dance with this Ewok.
That's the direction they gave him. Just dance.
My two favorite three favorites: Bosk, Admiral Akbar, and Max Reboot. So I don't know how I'm gonna do any of those in line, but I want to do those.
You got to make the home one. Isn't that Akbar ship?
Home one is enormous.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Yeah. Bosk. He's got a ship in the expanded universe.
Two. So he's actually got a starfighter that goes inside the ship. And the ship itself is massive. So we'd probably do a starfighter. IG-88's got an awesome ship, so I'd love to do that one. Zuckuss and Forlom have a ship that they go in, which isn't super huge, so we could potentially do that. And then I don't know what Dengar's ship looks like. I want to refresh myself here. Dengar. I always love. Yeah, but it's huge. I don't know the punishing one. It's actually not that big. So like, let's say
just add that to the list.
That's an inch. It would be 3 inches, 3 to 4 inches long. And it would be about 5 inches wide. It's big. So so somebody asked this question yesterday for Halo, and they're like, do a Scorpion tank for Halo. And I'm like, yeah, well, we're working on it. We want to do a Scorpion tank later down the line. And they're like, well, just do it as a Comic-Con exclusive. And it's the amount, like the steel molds that you need to make these things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Hasbro reuses so many different pieces and issues so many repaints. They're insanely expensive, especially when you get into larger and larger vehicles. And so you need to justify that with a production run that's going to help make up for your tooling expenses. Yep. And as much as I want the punishing one, as much as I love Dengar and his weird toilet paper armor, like I don't like that would be that would probably be a Starship class size vehicle, so around the same size as Boba Fett Starship. And like, guys, like $30 for punishing one. How many units are we going to be able to push?
Right.
Yeah.
That's too deep of a cut for a profit, I would assume.
Yeah, so we would need to figure out a way to do it, or again, if the line goes on for long enough, there's always a chance we could do it. If I can work into the Starfighter class and make it a bit smaller, much more likely to happen.
So
Like,
how deep?
I can justify tooling for a rare chase vehicle like that.
Yeah. How deep into planning are you right now? Series 7? Did I hear that somewhere?
Series 7, yep.
Okay.
Just
Wow.
done. And I'm late. I'm getting series 8 and 9 started for fall 24.
Wow. So you're that far ahead.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, it takes so long to sculpt these things, get them improved. Tooling on a good day is 60 days. On a line where Jazwares has spared no expense and is giving us precision tooling, we're talking about 120 days for tooling. Full production runs take anything between 90 to 120 days, depending on the size of the overall thing. So that's like, at the long end, that's 6 months just for tooling and manufacturing to begin with. And then you also have test shots where you get to see the actual like first shots of the vehicle off the line. Those hard copies you guys are talking about, like stuff like that. Like we see those in hand, we make sure that the functionality is right. Then we go to Paint Master, and then we get pre-production samples, and then we get production samples, and you can see how this timeline kind of like,
Yeah. It
not to
expands.
mention the same team was working on X number of waves at once.
Yeah. Okay. So as they're working on 3, they might be also be working on 4, 5, and 6.
Yep, because they're all at different stages in development at that point. So
Yeah.
they're working on product design sheets for wave 5 right now. No, they're done with wave 5. 6 and 7 right now, and then they're also working on tooling models for wave 4.
So how many waves a year are you guys thinking of putting out?
So for 2023, we're doing 3 waves per year, and then I recently decided, and I think this is, I don't know. Yeah, no, we got it started. So it's going to be 4 waves a year for 24.
Wow.
Wow.
2 in the spring, 2 in the fall.
We're gonna have to make some room, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
let me pull up where I have a visual line plan up.
So does Lucasfilm say, hey, we've got this property coming out in 2023, make this?
So they're like, hey, here's a content review for you of what's coming up. These ships we think look really cool. These ships are going to be featured on X series.
Yeah.
You know,
It wouldn't be
we'd
a
love to
series
get
with
these into
someone with
line, etc. So yeah.
Okay.
they
like somebody with 2 lightsabers and
There's lots of characters with 2 lightsabers. Does Darth Maul's lightsaber count as 2 lightsabers?
Yeah. I think he's
Oh.
talking about Ahsoka Tano.
yeah,
Ahsoka Tano. Oh, sorry.
Really
yeah,
excited
sorry.
about that.
Rosario
I'm
Dawson.
excited, dude. You
John
don't
Favreau
understand
just
my
said it
love.
was a samurai adventure show.
I don't care. Just give me Rebels season 5 and I'll be happy.
That's all you want is Sabine and Hera and Ezra and Chopper.
And
Ezra
J.K.
Bridger and Chopper.
Yeah,
I love Chopper. I think Chopper is great.
yeah.
Are they on the line yet? No, they're on the line yet.
I had friends at Celebration text me, go, you gotta find if you're not in the Ahsoka panel, oh my god, you're missing out. Like find it.
So, all right. So the one question that I forgot to ask you guys, and I'm actually probably going to sign off.
Sure.
Is, what vehicles you want to see in the line?
I
Jason,
kind of, yeah.
Give me your top 3 weird deep cuts that you'd love to see in the line.
All right. Well, I've got one request from somebody who wants a Cloud Car, U-Wing, Rebel Transport, Rebel Block Gator, Imperial Shuttle, Skiff, and a Jabba Sail Barge.
Slow.
you gotta slow down, Jason.
I'm just trying to get this done with so I can move on to my 3.
No, all right. Go ahead. Give me your list. And what?
Okay.
Also, who is this person? Why are they so important that you're giving their entire list first?
This is Alex. He's the pediatrician. We were kind of talking with him at a Celebration.
How old's your kid?
My kid is, what, 17, 15, and 12?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Wait,
Alex
the
was
pediatrician at Celebration was handing out the FX17.
yes, yes, yeah. So he sent me a bunch of vehicles he wants. He
All right,
wanted
go
me to
ahead.
tell you about them. He wanted the cloud car.
He wants a cloud car because he gave me, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yep,
Yeah.
that's him. Yeah. Ewing,
Okay.
Rebel Transport.
Rebel Transport is an interesting one. I was wondering how we would do that.
The Blockade Runner is even bigger than the Falcon, isn't it?
Well, Rebel Transport would 100% not be to scale.
Okay.
It's also not something that has a super huge amount of features to it, and it looks like a giant blimp. So,
Yeah.
like, what would you do to make it interesting? And
Yeah.
I've already thought of this, so this is all hypothetical question, but
The Imperial Shuttle, which would be probably the number one on my list. He was
Return of the
asking,
Jedi's 40th anniversary is 2023.
yeah, it might be a good time to do something like that. We'll see.
Maybe.
And then he said the Java sail barge and the skiff to go along with it, but I don't know if that's going to be
Java
too big.
sailboat. No, Java sail barge isn't that big. It's, I mean, the Hasbro 3 3/4 inch one. Just take that and then divide that by essentially 4. And that's how big it would be.
Oh, okay, that's not too big.
No,
But I would definitely want.
Great.
I would want the Imperial Shuttle, the U-wing from Rogue One. I love Rogue One. And then you're already making the blue X-wing, right?
Anti-American. It's a chase for Series 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so those would be the ones that I would want.
I love that red astromech droid. It just makes everything pop so much. By the way, the tool, oh, I can't say anything about it. Never mind. You almost got me because it's confusing me because I got product for Series 5 that I could shoot for product photography, and I'm now thinking that that's Wave 2. So I keep almost making a mistake.
Almost
stuff.
slip ups, almost exclusives that we'd have to edit out and no one would hear.
Oh my god!
Right.
Oh wow! Yeah, thank you for that. Well, we'd have to edit out. No one would ever hear.
We're honest. We would do that.
Right.
All right, so I'll tell you
Really
what. I'll tell you my favorite vehicle ever. Needless 10 gunship.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Needless 10.
Which one is that?
It's the Rancor face Imperial gunship or Rebel. I'm sorry. The Republic gunship.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Veritasi's The Clone Wars, the first episode.
yeah. Wow.
Love that thing. And it would have to come with ARC troopers.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And,
mine's is a shark one, but that one, I know that one's kind of, yeah, everybody's favorite.
The shark one? That's the Rancor face one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then shit. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite chip too. All right,
Okay.
what's your list?
My list is the Ghost. And then you got to have the Phantom and the Phantom 2, one of those. And then I think the Pose X-Wing, that black X-Wing is pretty badass.
Which colorway? There's 3.
There's what? The black one.
3 colorways. You don't want the blue and white. You don't want the orange and white.
No, you want the black and orange, right?
Black and orange.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I think you're
You
doing
know
the
some
snow
people.
speeder. Yeah, you're doing the snow speeder. I'm excited about that.
Oh, yeah, so I can talk about the snow speeder features. Thank you. Because so the features on that thing are freaking sick. So we had to really rush to get the products photographed and sent out for that Yahoo piece, but it has a tow cable in the back. There is a little winding knob thing so you can actually pull the tow cable in. The tow cable is as long as the string can be per safety guidelines, but you guys can work around that if you want.
Yeah.
Coolest thing is, one, it comes with 2 microfigure accessories. It comes with both Dak and Luke, so that's freaking cool on its own. It's got a landing skid that flops down or pops down, but the grill on the back, there's a tiny notch built in that you can move back and forth. And when you move that back and forth, it makes the air brakes go up and down.
Wow. Yeah. Can't wait for that.
That's gonna be cool.
Remind me
all for under $20, right?
What?
All for under $20.
$16.99.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this line, man.
Hey, yeah, $16.99. All right, come Was it, what else is in that wave? Oh my god, the gauntlet. The gauntlet, we got ratcheting wings that go in every single, like, you can have them facing up, down, and then it rotates with a ratchet too, so it can hit all the poses that you want it to, and it's got a landing skid. Looks awesome. Bo-Katan looks freaking great.
That's
Ah,
awesome.
yeah. I can't. That's an awesome ship.
That one's out of scale, but it's still beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Any more questions? You got one more question?
Well, I think me and Jason do owe you an apology.
Real quick.
Real quick. We were talking to you last day of celebration, and somebody came up and went, Dave Filoni's over there, and we just went, bye, and took off.
I would have done the same thing. So
Yeah. Well, it's been weighing on our head because we were talking to him, and then we just kind of just ghosted him for Dave Filoni.
Wow. If only you had led with that, I could have just been like, click, bye.
Yeah, see, that's why we end with that. So now you can click bye.
No.
Well, we appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah,
Thank
Max,
you very
thank you.
much for giving us
Thank
this
you,
time to
guys.
talk about it. And we're really excited about this line.
Anytime. We'll be in touch about your exclusive reveal for that exclusive item later on.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We're excited about that.
Cool. All right, take it easy, guys.
Have a good
What
night.
do you do for a living? I want to ask.
I'm a communication manager for a construction company.
Cool. How about you, Glenn?
I work for an office coffee company. I put off coffee in offices and kind of fix them when they or try to fix them when they when they break.
Nice.
So exciting.
I
work.
make videos and write copy and manage websites. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you have a lovely evening.
You as well.
Yeah.
Georgia. I really do want to visit Atlanta and go to that aquarium one day.
Let us know when you're in town. We'll show you our collections.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see your hard copy of the Imperial Guard transforming head playset.
Yeah. The detail
pretty
on the
cool.
thing is pretty awesome.
Cool. All right, take it easy, guys. Have a
Yeah,
good
you
night.
too. Good night.
Thanks, buddy.
And Forrest be with you.
Man, with you.
That was awesome.
Wow, that was incredible. We hit the big time.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Should we wrap it up since this is an epic 2-hour episode?
Yeah, man. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
We'll
Thank
talk
you,
more
everyone.
Andor next week. So, hey, Jason.
What?
Happy birthday.
Oh, right. Happy birthday to you as well. Thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out and points people to the show. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We'd love your feedback, and we'd love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. You can find him at Puerto Rico Star Wars on Facebook. Thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. Hasbro re-release VC66. # vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This was an incredible episode. This is the way.
This is the way.